Governor Mike Parson has made the anti-abortion bill official. He signed the bill this morning that would make abortions illegal after 8 weeks. Welcome to this Friday edition of Cullerton News at 10. I'm Heather Lewis. Our Madison Heaver joins us now with a closer look at this bill. Madison.
Heather, we wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of the bill to let you know exactly what it says and when the law will go into effect.
Every woman has 2 months to decide. Is it a terrible thing that happens in those situations? Yes, it is. I was in law enforcement for 22 years trying to protect everybody's rights to make sure these things don't happen. But the real reality of it is bad things do happen sometimes. But you have 2 months to decide what you're going to do with that issue. And I believe in 2 months you can make a decision.
The law would limit abortions to 8 weeks. After that, an abortion would be considered a Class B felony. The doctor who performs the abortion could face up to 15 years in prison and have their professional license suspended or revoked. If you look at the language of the bill signed by Governor Parson, you'll notice the text says, an abortion shall not be performed or induced upon a woman at 8 weeks, 14 weeks, or 18 weeks gestational age or later. So why doesn't it just say 8 weeks? According to Republican lawmakers, including 14 weeks and 18 weeks in the text itself is a backup plan. If the law were to be challenged in court, there would still be a 14-week and an 18-week provision to fall back on, should a judge strike down that 8-week provision. But we do want to mention that a judge could strike down the entire law as is. The bill does include provisions for abortions in cases of medical emergencies of either the pregnant woman or the unborn child, but does not include a provision for rape or incest.
I'm a social worker, and I've spent a lot of my career advocating for victims of sexual assault, rape, and incest, and the trauma that this is doing to the women that I've worked with and the families of this state, and how triggering all of these conversations are is just unbearable.
It also prohibits abortions based on sex, race, or the possibility of the child having Down syndrome. In the case that a minor would like to get an abortion, it is still limited to 8 weeks after conception, but the minor must also provide consent, as do both parents. This law will go into effect August 28th. A legal challenge is expected, but it's unclear when that could happen.